On July 4th, a deep current starts to flow. It's not the kind of current you see in the news or on social media. It has no sound, no spectacle, no grand announcement. It's a hum beneath the floorboards of reality. A powerful, invisible shift that most people, caught in the world's noise, will completely miss. We are trained to look for fireworks, for breaking news, for loud declarations. We expect change to arrive with a bang. But the most profound transformations in life and in the universe don't shout, they whisper. July 4th is not for those who need the world to scream. It's for those who have learned to listen to the space between the notes, to feel the pull of a tide they cannot see. It's for those who understand that true power doesn't need to prove itself. You have to grasp this inner quiet is not an absence of sound, but the presence of clarity. It's like wiping a dusty lens. Suddenly you see things as they are, without the smudges of your own anxieties and expectations. On July 4th, this is the only tool you'll need. The task is not to analyze, but to sense. Not to argue with reality, but to align with it. Think about it this way: a seed doesn't make a sound when it cracks open underground. A new season doesn't announce its arrival. The earth rotates in total silence. This is the nature of authentic power. It moves from within unnoticed. On July 4th, a similar deep movement will stir within you, but only if you create the space to perceive it. There is no complicated preparation, no special technique to learn. The instruction is simply stop, disconnect, observe. For just a few minutes on July 4th, step off the treadmill of your daily obligations. Get up a little earlier. Sit with your own breath. Feel the simple, undeniable fact of your own existence. That quiet aliveness. That is the exact spot where the shift will make contact. People spend their lives chasing grand epiphanies, hoping for a message from the heavens. But the truth always reveals itself in the moments we stop chasing. July 4th isn't about finding an answer. It's about realizing the question is unnecessary. The very thing you've been searching for is already here, but your mind has been too crowded to recognize its presence. When you become still, you don't stop progressing, you stop resisting, you gain access. A silent question will emerge on this day, carried on the breeze of your own awareness. Will you be there to receive it, or will your internal static be too loud? In our constant rush to achieve, to acquire, to solve, we forget that sometimes the only thing required is to simply witness. This unseen movement on July 4th is a quiet test. Not a test of what you know, but a test of your inner stability. Can you sit with uncertainty without needing to fill the space with worry? Can you trust that a process is unfolding even without external validation? This is the very definition of being in tune with life's energy. On this day, you might notice small indicators: a wave of emotion that comes from nowhere, a sudden clarity about something you've been stuck on, a powerful urge to clean out a closet, or a profound sense of calm, as if your inner furniture is being quietly rearranged. These aren't random glitches. They are the fingerprints of the shift, visible only when you are still enough to see them. It's tempting to dismiss these subtle signals. The world will demand your attention. The machine of daily life will keep running. But on July 4th, none of that is where the real action is. What truly matters is your capacity to feel the tectonic plates of your own being shift beneath the surface. This isn't a cosmetic change. This is a foundational one, and you cannot access the foundation while living in the attic of your mind. July 4th extends an invitation to come home to yourself. It doesn't force you. It doesn't yell. It simply holds the door open. And you get to choose. If you choose yes, then for a moment, turn away from the noise. Step back from the pressure. Put down the phone. Sit with the person you are underneath all your roles. 5 minutes of genuine stillness can be more transformative than 5 years of frantic effort. Some will say, I felt nothing. And that is fine. The current flows whether you feel it or not. It is a force of nature. But your ability to draw strength from it, to be nourished by it, depends entirely on your openness. The more you unclench your fist, the more you can receive. The quieter you become, the more you will hear. You don't need to believe in anything esoteric for this. Just respect what is subtle. Just honor the quiet. Your body knows. Your breath knows. The life force animating you knows. Your only job is to pay attention, not with your mind, but with your whole being. So on July 4th, stop trying to make something happen. Instead, allow something to be received. Clear a space inside. Let the mental clutter settle. This shift is for you and you alone. It is silent. It is internal, but it is absolutely real. July 4th is not a date on a calendar. It is a portal. And your own stillness is the only key you need. Be present, be receptive, be ready. Something real is moving just beneath the surface. Let it move through you. The shift on July 4th isn't about what's happening in the headlines. It's about what's happening in your inner world. We spend so much time preparing for external events. We check forecasts, follow trends, try to guess what's next. But here's the truth. The outside world will never make sense if your inner world is in chaos. If you are turbulent inside, even a calm day will feel like a threat. If you are centered inside, you can stand in the middle of a hurricane and maintain your peace. This is the reminder that July 4th brings. The external shift is meaningless if you are not aligned internally. Most of us are looking in the wrong place. We seek stability from the world, but genuine stability, real preparation, is an inside job. July 4th carries a change in frequency, a new vibration. It's subtle, but its impact can reshape your life if you are ready. Not ready with opinions or plans, but ready in your core, in your awareness, in your posture, in your very state of being. Before the universe makes a move in your outer life, it first sends a signal to your inner life. You might feel it as a sudden restlessness. You might feel it as a moment of piercing clarity. It might be discomfort or it might be deep relief. The form it takes is not important. What's important is your ability to recognize it as a signal instead of dismissing it as a random mood. July 4th will put this to the test. It will reveal whether you are living on autopilot or living with presence. Are you grounded or are you being blown about by every passing wind? The preparation for this is not about learning more, it's about being more. You prepare by stopping. You prepare by observing your own internal weather. Ask yourself, is my mind a storm or a clear sky? Am I reacting to the world or am I responding from my center? These are not philosophical questions. They are practical tools. Being aligned means your thoughts, feelings, and actions are all pointing in the same direction. On July 4th, many will feel the shift, but only those who are aligned will know how to navigate it. The rest will feel confused or overwhelmed. They will miss the opportunity not because it wasn't there, but because they weren't home. Check in with your body. Is it holding tension? Is it exhausted? Your body is the antenna for this energy. If the antenna is stiff and cluttered, the signal can't get through. On July 4th, let your body be relaxed but alert. Use your breath as an anchor to the present moment. When your breath is calm and deep, your mind becomes clear. When your breath is shallow and erratic, your mind follows suit and you lose your footing. This is the real work. Align your body, align your breath, align your mind, not in some grand, dramatic fashion, but in a quiet, real way. Sit down, close your eyes, feel the space you occupy. For just a few moments, release the need to control everything. Let go of the past, let go of the future. Simply be. In that space, your entire system starts to recalibrate. This is how you prepare your inner self for the gift of July 4th. The wave of energy coming on July 4th will not wait for you. It will arrive. You can either learn to surf it or you can be knocked over by it. And your ability to surf depends entirely on your inner balance. The world outside may look the same, but your perception of it, the choices you make, the energy you project, all of this is generated from within. When you are aligned, you move with purpose. You act from a place of clarity, not fear. You listen more than you speak. On July 4th, these qualities will be your greatest assets. But they don't appear out of thin air. They are cultivated, moment by moment, breath by breath. If you start today, right now, then when July 4th comes, you won't feel anxious. You will feel ready, not because you know what's coming, but because you know who you are. There is no power greater than the power of inner calm. When the world outside is shaking, your anchor must be within. If your anchor is tied to a job, an opinion, or a relationship, you will be pulled adrift. But if your anchor is dropped deep inside your own presence, you can weather any storm. This is the lesson of July 4th. It is not about fear, it is about readiness. Inner readiness. You don't need more strategies, you need more presence. You don't need more control, you need more clarity. Let July 4th be your reminder to align your mind with your body with your breath, and your breath with your awareness. When you are whole, even a small shift can become a profound opportunity. So when July 4th arrives, ask yourself, am I aligned? Am I calm? Am I here? These aren't just questions, they are your rudder. Because when the world changes, the only thing that holds you steady is the strength you built inside. Let July 4th be the day you remember to turn your attention from the outside in. That is where all real change begins. On July 4th, something is going to shift, and it's not happening in the stock market or in politics. The real shift will occur in the one place most of us are taught to ignore: the invisible space within you. There are unseen forces that guide our lives, affecting our thoughts, our moods, our choices. The less conscious you are of these forces, the more you are their puppet. On July 4th, this hidden energetic landscape will become more active. You may not see it with your eyes, but you will feel its effects: a sudden mood swing, a moment of startling clarity, a nagging feeling that something is just below the surface. These are not random fluctuations. They are proof that something unseen is at work. We are not just physical beings, we are energetic beings. Life is a current of spirit, constantly in motion. Most people operate under the illusion of pure logic. They think their choices are their own. But in reality, many of our decisions are dictated by the unconscious. by feelings we've suppressed, fears we haven't faced, and the old narratives we play on a loop. On July 4th, these inner patterns will be activated, not to sabotage you but to reveal themselves to you. It's an opportunity to see the real strings that pull you. When you feel a strong pull towards or away from something, pause and ask, is this my conscious choice, or is this an old program running? On this day, don't just react, observe. There is immense power in simply noticing. The moment you become aware of an unconscious pattern, you are no longer a slave to it. That is the beginning of freedom. July 4th is not a day to be afraid, it is a day for awareness. As soon as you acknowledge the unseen forces influencing you, you begin to reclaim your power. That feeling that appears out of thin air, it has a source, that old memory that surfaces for no reason. It's a clue. That silence that feels unusually heavy, it's speaking to you. But you cannot decode these messages if you are constantly rushing, scrolling, and looking for answers outside yourself. The visible world is just the tip of the iceberg. Your energy field shapes your reality. Your core intention attracts your experiences. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. July 4th is a powerful reminder to become the energy you wish to attract. Not just with your words, but with your entire being. Align your inner energy, and the outer world has no choice but to respond. Life has a natural rhythm. When you are out of sync with it, everything feels like a struggle. When you are in harmony with it, things unfold with grace. July 4th will be a test of how in tune you are. You might encounter a situation that defies all logic, but your intuition pulls you strongly in one direction. Trust that feeling. Logic is a valuable tool, but it is not the only intelligence you possess. Your body has wisdom, your heart has wisdom, your energy field has wisdom. On July 4th, these other forms of knowing may speak louder than your rational mind. Listen. This is not a time to fight what you can't see, it is a time to flow with it. Those who ignore the energetic dimension of life will feel lost. They will feel confused, drained, and stuck. But those who are sensitive to energy will recognize July 4th as an opportunity. A gateway, a mirror, a moment to reset their inner compass. So ask yourself right now, what are the invisible scripts running my life? What patterns keep showing up? What core feelings am I avoiding? What beliefs are secretly making my decisions for me? Sit with these questions. Don't look for quick answers. Let the truth surface from the deep. On July 4th, these hidden layers will become more prominent. The discomfort you've been pushing down will demand attention. The inner voice you've been ignoring will speak up. Don't turn away. This is not a sign of weakness. This is life showing you exactly where healing is needed. The more you fight the unseen, the more power it has over you. But when you can see it, name it, and breathe with it, you begin to dissolve its hold. This is the real preparation for July 4th. It's not about tidying your house. It's about clearing your inner space. It's not about aligning your goals. It's about aligning your soul. Energy doesn't lie. What you carry within you broadcasts a signal far more powerful than your words. The unseen world responds to that signal. So on July 4th, don't just look to the sky, look inside. When you feel the shift, don't ask, what's happening out there? Ask, what is waking up in me? This isn't superstition. This is radical awareness, and awareness is the line between living on autopilot and living a conscious life. You are here to be fully awake. July 4th is your wake-up call. Life is always in motion, but on this day the unseen moves closer. Will you see it? Will you work with it? Or will you fall back into old habits? The choice is yours. The invitation is here. Pay attention, get quiet, and meet the forces within you before they define your life without your permission. On July 4th, as a quiet shift begins, a single, clear message will rise to the surface: let go. Not every piece of baggage you are carrying is meant for the next part of your journey. The biggest mistake we make is trying to pour a new life into an old container. We try to build a future while our hands are still clinging to the debris of the past. But July 4th is not about accumulating, it's about releasing. For a new season to begin, the old one must end. This is a law of nature. Before something new can be born in your life, something old must be allowed to die. This could be a limiting belief, a chronic fear, a painful memory, or an identity you've outgrown. If you are quiet enough on July 4th, you won't have to guess what it is. It will make itself known. It will rise as a feeling of weight, of friction, of something that simply doesn't fit anymore. Letting go is not an act of losing. It is an act of creating space. You cannot receive a gift with clenched fists. You cannot feel new joy when your heart is crowded with old grievances. You cannot hear the wisdom of the present moment when your mind is a noisy archive of the past. July 4th brings a profound invitation to open your hands, to clear your inner landscape, and to release what is no longer yours to hold. This release doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to make a public announcement. You don't even need to fully understand it. You only need to acknowledge the feeling that something is ready to leave, and then allow it. Stop resisting the pull. Stop fighting the message. The energy of July 4th will support this release. It will support surrender. It will support the quiet courage it takes to stop pretending and simply let go. So ask yourself now, what in my life feels heavy? What am I clinging to that costs me my peace? What is the story I keep replaying that I know deep down is finished? These questions are not just mental exercises, they are keys. On July 4th, the locks on these doors may begin to turn. You don't have to force them open. You just have to stop holding them shut. We are taught to collect achievements, possessions, opinions. But wisdom lies in knowing what to set down. True strength isn't always about holding on tighter. Often, it's about having the strength to let go. July 4th is a reminder that real power flows from clarity, and clarity arrives only when you let the old static fade. Letting go is not failure, it is wisdom in action. In autumn, a tree doesn't grieve its falling leaves. It releases them. It trusts the cycle. It knows that only through shedding can new growth emerge. You must learn to trust this cycle in your own life. July 4th will ask for this trust. Can you release what has already served its purpose? Can you set yourself free from a chapter that is already over? There might be a sting of grief in letting go. There might be resistance. That is natural. The ego mistakes release for defeat because it craves control. But this is an illusion. What you are actually losing is a burden, and what you gain in its place is freedom. July 4th offers a window to see this truth with piercing clarity, to loosen your grip, to breathe more deeply, and to walk into your own future feeling lighter and more present. This is not about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't matter. It is about honoring what was, and then making the conscious choice not to carry its weight forward. On July 4th, give yourself permission to release without needing to justify it. This is not an act of surrender, it is an act of maturation. It is the natural flow of life. You cannot welcome new energy into a space that is already full. If you want the promise of July 4th to truly take root in your life, you must make room for it, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It means saying the goodbyes you have long postponed. It means releasing outcomes you were never meant to control. It means forgiving, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. July 4th is not about doing more. It's about being more by carrying less. This is a sacred, private choice you make in the quiet of your own heart. So when July 4th comes, be radically honest with yourself. What are you holding that is holding you back? What outdated fear is keeping you stuck in a past that no longer exists? You don't need a detailed plan. You just need willingness. Let that be your only practice for this day. The willingness to release, the willingness to trust, the willingness to move forward with less so that you can finally become more. Something new is waiting to enter, but it cannot come into a crowded room. Let July 4th be the day you finally open the door. Let it be the day you choose freedom over familiarity. Let it be the day you release, not with sorrow, but with gratitude for the lessons learned. Because what is past has done its job, and what is coming needs you to be free. On July 4th, many will be busy trying to predict the future. They will search for signs, analyze trends, and wait anxiously for some big reveal. But this day is not about guessing what will happen. It's about building yourself to be ready for whatever happens. This is the crucial difference between living in fear and living in a state of readiness, between trying to control life and learning to meet it. When you try to predict the future, you are using your mind, which is a tool of the past. The mind can only work with what it already knows, but the future is, by definition, made of the unknown. On July 4th, give up the exhausting game of trying to figure it all out. Instead of asking, what's going to happen, ask a better question. True preparation is not a detailed itinerary. It is a fortified inner state. When you are solid within, you can face any external event with calm, clarity, and grace. But if your focus is only on prediction, you are ungrounded. You are a leaf in the wind. And when the change comes, you will be thrown off balance. Look to nature. A great oak tree doesn't prepare for a storm by trying to guess its exact path. It prepares by deepening its roots. A river doesn't get ready for a downpour by fighting it. It prepares by remaining a river, flexible, adaptable, and in flow. This is what true preparation looks like. On July 4th, your task is to be both the oak tree, rooted in your own presence, and the river, open to what comes. People fear the unknown, believing that if they can just predict it, they can control it and be safe. But life is not a problem to be solved, it is a reality to be experienced. The most peaceful and effective people are not those who know what's coming. They are those who trust that they are ready for anything that comes. July 4th will bring a palpable shift in energy. Something might end, something might begin, something might be revealed. None of these outcomes are within your control. But your breath, your focus, your inner posture, these are yours to command. This is where your energy should go. You don't prepare for July 4th by consuming more information. You prepare by sitting in silence and taking an honest inventory. Is my mind scattered or is it centered? Is my breath shallow or is it deep? Am I connected to myself right now, or am I lost in anxiety about tomorrow? We try to shield ourselves with knowledge, but true safety doesn't come from information. It comes from inner discipline, from stillness, from being present. July 4th is a powerful opportunity to practice this. Don't squander your energy on speculation. Use it to build your inner sanctuary. Whatever happens on July 4th will simply meet you where you are. If you are anxious, the energy of the day will amplify your anxiety. If you are peaceful, it will deepen your peace. The shift itself will not transform you, it will reveal you. This is why preparation is infinitely more important than prediction. You don't need to know the future, you only need to know yourself in this present moment. That is the anchor that will determine how you experience whatever comes. If you are rooted in your own awareness, you will not be broken. You may be surprised, you may be challenged, but you will not lose your center. Your preparation is your power. So how do you prepare? You simplify, you slow down, you breathe, you disconnect from the noise and connect to yourself. You ask empowering questions. Am I holding on to fear, or am I open to growth? Do I trust the process of life, or am I trying to force it? Preparation is the practice of building the inner muscle to stay calm in uncertainty. It's training your mind not to spiral into panic when it doesn't have an answer. It's trusting that the next step of the path will be illuminated when you are ready to take it. This is not blind hope. This is confident trust, born from the practice of being present. July 4th is not a test of your predictive abilities. It is a test of your responsive abilities. The world can change in an instant, but if you are truly present, you will know how to respond in that instant. Not because you guessed right, but because you are awake. Life rewards readiness, not control. So use this time to prepare, not with tension, but with steady breath, clear awareness, and quiet strength. Don't wait for a sign. Become still now. Become strong now, so that when July 4th arrives, you won't be scrambling for answers. You will simply meet life, fully and powerfully as it is. This is the ultimate lesson. The future is not in your hands, but your readiness is. And when you are truly ready, you can face anything. You won't need to guess. You will only need to be.